Did anybody remember when Facebook filed the IPO?
Yes.
When? Yeah, early February, right? And what does that mean to the CEO and founder of Facebook? What is his name? Right. And so what does that make him?
Very rich.
Very rich, yes. That's right. He actually became, he will be a billionaire when all these transactions is over. He will be one of the youngest, probably the youngest billionaire before his 28th birthday. Isn't that nice? I speak to and interview a lot of the entrepreneurs worldwide, and I oftentimes ask them this question. I always ask them, what is your end game looks like? Or in the other words, what is the exit strategy for you? 95% of the time, this is the answer I got. They always tell me, you know, I'm really just focusing on growing my business. I haven't really think about exit at all. As a matter of fact, I am not even thinking about retirement. Do you think Mark Zuckerberg is going to retire after all the IPO finished? No? As a matter of fact, who's the CEO of Amazon.com? Jeff Bezos. Is it Bezos or Bezos? Bezos. Did he retire after Amazon.com went public? No. As a matter of fact, when Philip was talking about Zappos.com, who is the CEO of Zappos.com? Tony Hsieh. Did he retire after he sold the company to Amazon?
No, he just started something else.
Right. He's in the all about happiness movement, if you will. So what I'm going to share with you today is perhaps you might want to consider to be just like them. Wouldn't it be nice? Just like them. And keep in mind, the way that they actually cash out or exit is only using one out of the 27 tools that are available to each one of you. Many of you may survive. Many of you may not survive. What I'm going to take you through today are 5 deadly business sins you must avoid in able to create the values that you need to compensate the amount of risk that you are taking in the business. Business model, in front of you, the chart, you see 3 little circles. Business model has 3 different components. Number one component is business owner's passion as well as your business purpose. So owner's passion as well as business purpose. Number 2 components is your business competency, core competency. Core competency includes your key resources as well as your key processes. Key resources as well as your key processes. All right, ladies, how many of you actually shop online for shoes? Can someone name a company?
Zappos.
Who says that Zappos? Mary? Okay, in the back of your car, write down big book. All right. Zappos, before they become famous years and years ago, they've decided to outsource their supply chain. Supply chain is something that you ship in your inventory, you ship out the orders to your customers. They think that by outsourcing that to a third party will actually enhance their profit level. They outsource to somebody who is right next to the UPS hub. 6 months down the road, they realize that they made the biggest mistake because that third-party company cannot handle the values and cannot get the shipping correctly. So it took them another year just to bring all of those things back. And the mistake that they made was they actually outsourced their core competencies. So as you run your business, understand what your core competency is. Don't outsource your core competency. Of course, things that you don't do well, you can outsource. Okay, let me answer it differently. So the question was, can your business play on both sides of the axis? Okay. Let me ask you a question. Do you think Apple is going to play in convenience?
Yes, they play in convenience because they give you access to a product that allows you to get access to information very quickly and easily.
Yes, that's they sell online, but from a quality standpoint, they will not change your product because of the quality to go down to be inconvenience. Okay, all right. So now we have Joyce, who is fantastic branding. We also have this gentleman here. I'm sorry, your name? Okay, sorry, I cannot pronounce it right at this moment, but I'd be happy to say it in Chinese. Anyway. All right, so we got two experts of branding here. In your expert opinion, do you want to take a risk to brand your product on both sides of the coins? No. And the reason?
To stay on the target, to be focused.
Exactly. And when it comes to pricing to attract the right target audience to you, is that oftentimes you have to step back, just like what Joyce was talking earlier this morning. Besides thinking about who are exactly what you wanted to target to buy your service or product, the other thing I want you to step back to look at it is, look at what is your business model, okay? Well, actually, that's a very tricky question. Let me rephrase the question a little bit. If in the U.S., every single women business owners together is a country, we are the 5th largest gross production, domestic production country in the world. We are similar to Germany, ahead of France, Italy, as well as England. So congratulations for coming so far. So what exactly does that mean from an economic impact from all of us sitting here in the room? That means annually we produce $3 trillion annually. That's a T, $3 trillion. So what does that mean exactly to each one of us here? It means that we as women created 23 million jobs in the U.S. 23 million jobs. That accounts for 16% of overall U.S. jobs. Incredible. So give yourself a big hand. Congratulations. With that kind of accomplishment, all of you know that we, long time ago, finally able to own real estate with our husband. Some of you may not remember that. Long time ago, we finally got the right to vote. And then long time ago, we finally got equal right to get jobs. But today, as you heard from Lisa as well as Betty here, that we still have a huge wage gap. So as I was preparing today's talk, I mentioned the statistics to my husband. So he asked me, how could that be? How could that wage gap be in place? Well, you have to understand, he thinks that I'm a very liberal wife. So he doesn't quite understand why there's an age gap. Now, this is one of my favorite stores. One of them. All right? And so when I get this particular store's annual sales, I remember I used to be the first one in the door because I just don't want to miss the sale. Right? And when we talk about the age gap from people like me, more of a financial and number person, what that means to me is a supply and demand. So when there's an wage gap, that means that someone is offering discount, and then there's buyers willing to buy these goods at discount. So what that means is that most of the women, you heard the number before, on the national level, women are holding the sign up and saying, hey, pick me, I'm 22% off. Pick me, I'm 22% off. It gets worse, ladies. That's just Caucasian and black, African American, sorry about that. For the Asians, we're worse. We said, oh, pick me, I'm 34% off. I'm cheaper than them, 34% off. Now, what about Latinos? Well, I have a bigger bag. Here's the Latinos. They're saying I am 51 or 54% off. Now, ladies, are that acceptable? No? Oh, please don't run to your boss tomorrow and start asking for raise. According to Bureau of Economic Analysis, as a matter of fact, March 2011, they published a study and showed every dollar earned in the U.S., 5 cents is being saved. Every dollar earned in the U.S., 5 cents being saved. Every dollar earned, according to the China Statistic Bureau, every dollar earned, 30 cents is being saved. I can tell you, not because most of us grew up in war, and I can tell you, when you are in war, you are in poverty, for definite. And those behaviors, savings, conserving, spending behaviors, are passing down generations to generations. This is the reason I tell my daughter, that's the reason you think I'm cheap. Wait until you go shop with your grandfather. You're not going to get anything out of him. And she actually told me that, Mom, you're right. He is much cheaper than you.